Cottage and Paper Crafting Thursday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Today I'm going to share with you my scrapbusting journal, but before I do the flip through, I'm going to add another page, and I thought that we would do that together. So let me just check my settings, make sure that you can see and hear me. That looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to find a place. And it's getting kind of full here. I think maybe in the middle area might be a good spot. Or let's do something here. Okay, so I have a stamp set and die set called Earthen Textures, and I've been using this lately. This is a brand new bundle, and I really like it quite a lot, and I'm going to show you today some of the reasons why I like this in particular. But I love these stamps that have these kind of sticky, grassy sort of a texture to them. And then of course you've got all these wonderful dies, which you will get a better look at in a little while. And not only do you have the standalone dies, but you've also got dies for the pots, which can also double as a label. And there's a really nice embossing die here that adds extra texture. And so I have gone ahead and I have prepared a lot of die cuts ahead of time. Here's an example of a card that I did using the bundle, and I also used the tailor-made tags for my sentiment. But I just love all these textures and the colors, these beautiful subtle colors. And I've also pulled out some stencils, and this is the basic pattern decorative mask set, and I'm pretty sure this is the set that has the one that I'm looking for. So let's see. This one. Okay, so that will work. I'm going to begin by creating a kind of a background, and I'm just checking to see how much bulk I have on the pages around here, because I do want to add some of these. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this page over here, and so to do that I'm going to pull out, I've got a lot of tags which I will put back in afterwards. So let's just grab these things so that it can lay a little bit flatter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my foam mat. So there's a foam mat in here. It's a piercing mat. And I'm going to put that so that hopefully I can get a kind of a smooth surface to do a little stenciling on. To do the stenciling, I've got one of my blending brushes here, and I've got an assortment of inks. So I've got Wild Wheat, Copper Clay, Lost Lagoon, Pecan Pie, and Pebbled Path. I don't think I'm going to be using all of them today, but I want to have them ready. I see some people out there already. So hi Kelly. Hey Linda. Yes, happy June. Good morning Emma. I know you're getting ready for your big move. Yes, she says, I'm watching and packing. Oh, well, you know what? You're going to get into your new place and you're going to have a chance to clean everything up really nice. And then you're going to have a beautiful brand new craft area. So that's kind of exciting. All right, so the focal point of this design is going to be in this area over here, and then I want it to sort of come up, fade off, and maybe pick up a little bit over here, but I want to keep this area free for writing. So I've got my Lost Lagoon here, and I'm going to start in this corner. And keeping the darkest part of the stenciling to the lower left, and then just letting it sort of fade off as it moves away from that corner. So I'm being careful not to shift my mask too much. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'd like to hold on to that design. All right, there we go. That looks good. And then on this side, I'm going to repeat the same thing, keeping it darker towards the bottom and just letting it sort of gently fade away. I want to add a little bit more up here so I can just sort of line up my pattern as best I can. That looks pretty good. And I'm not going to add any more ink this time. I'm just going to press a little harder and go up. There we go. Maybe a little bit more up here. Okay, so that's the beginning of my my background image. Now I also want to do a little bit of stamping. So for that, I'm going to grab my long H block and I just grab one of these twiggy kind of pattern stamps and just kind of have them radiate from the corner. A lot of this will not be seen because it'll be covered by the die cuts, but I just want a little bit extra sort of texture and interest coming out like so. Okay, and I think I'll just add a little bit of a echo over on this side. So just sort of running along the bottom. I get one more over here. There we go. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I'll zoom you in a little bit. All right. A little echo over here. Here we go. All right, so that is my sort of background texture. Now, if you'd like, you can also take, and I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper here to protect the other pages, but you can take your blending brush and just go around the edge, give that a little more definition. Of course, any of the techniques and ideas that you do in your journal are easily transferred over to your note cards and vice versa. So if you have some special note cards that you really liked the design ideas that you want to save for inspiration, well, you can just glue your card into your journal as a flap, and it would be really nice to have a resource to be able to refer to when you were looking for ideas, because you know we get so many of these ideas that some of them we just forget over time. Okay, so that is looking pretty good so far. Let me get my little envelope of goodies here. Actually, before I do that, I think I want to add another color. Let's see. Cookie says, "Happy 1st of June. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Cookie. I saw your message about the watercolor card club. I will be sending out an announcement very soon. I was sick last week, so I have a little bit of catching up to do, and I will do that today." Ginger says, "Almost forgot about Thursday." Yes, today is our first Paper Crafting Thursday with the new summer schedule. So thank you so much for joining us. And Patricia, hi Patricia, nice to see you here. And Linda likes the look, and Carol says hi. Hi, Carol. Yeah, well, you know, we're using these inks and stamps and stencils in a very painterly way now. Okay, so if you think about building up your layers with your background, middle ground, and foreground, this is a really nice way to do that. So I think I'm going to try the pecan pie, see how that looks. And this time I'm going to be using this other stamp. So let me just take this off. Now these stamps do have these extra long stems on the foliage, and so you do want to be careful that you don't press too hard and you don't rock, because it's very easy to get a halo. And in this case, because it's the background, I really don't care that much, because it's all going to be texture in the background. But the inks also are brand new. These are the new in colors, and so I'm going to be a little more gentle than I normally am. So let's get some ink on there. This is also the first time I'm using some of these stamps. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so you may not be able to see that very well. Let me zoom you in a little bit. You see what I have now is I've got another value. So in terms of tone and color and texture, I have another opportunity now to build up a layer of this line work coming forward and going back to give me a little more depth. So I like that quite a lot. And I'm also choosing a slightly thicker line to help with that effect. So there we go. So it may not look like a lot right now, but I just love the way this looks. And I think when at the end, when it all comes together, you'll see it too. Okay, so it's kind of like it gives the effect of a sort of a misty meadow with all these fantastic patterns, and using the kind of a geometric stencil just adds that whole other kind of mysterious feeling. Okay, I think I need one more over in the corner here. Okay. All right, so that's what I'm going to get out a little bit. There we go. So that's the that sort of helps to define the design area. All right, now we can look at some of these things that I have prepared. I also used a little bit of the distressed gold paper for a little bit of sparkle. And so here it is. And this is just this wonderful little die cut shape. Can't see that very well. That looks like just some twigs. And so what I did was I went ahead and I die cut an assortment of these sort of, I think these remind me of wheat. I'm trying to, let's see where we can put this so that you can see them better. So I've got the copper clay, I've got some of the wild wheat color cardstock, and then I've got some of these big leaves with the Lost Lagoon, and honestly, it was this big leaf shape that that made me look more closely at this set, because what this can do is you can crease these wonderful fan-shaped leaves so that you have this fantastic 3D effect. And I'm not going all the way down, I'm just starting at the outer tips and kind of pinching them along to give it a little bit of help. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. It almost has makes me think of the Egyptian hieroglyphs. Has that kind of a design to it. So there you can see that beautiful play of light and shadow on this die cut, which I think is so fabulous. So we'll be using a couple of those. And then I have more of the grass dye here in Lost Lagoon, copper clay, wild wheat. And then I've gone ahead and I've cut out some handles. So in the dyes you get 2 pots, and this is the smaller of the 2 pots. And I've used that dye that provides embossed texture. So I think you can see that pattern. It's very, very subtle, but really pretty. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to sponge the edges of this to help give it more of a rounded look. So let me find my copper clay ink. One of the really fun things about having cardstock and inks that match so perfectly is that you can really develop a sense of form by sponging the edges and also by stamping on some of these things. So here's my shape, and I'm just gonna, oops, too much ink in there because it's brand new. So that's okay, I'll just smooth it out this way. I forgot about the fresh ink, so just go like that. And then that dark side will be the shadow side. So we will just make that work to our advantage. Just blend it in. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my bone folder and I'm just going to give that a little bit of a curl to help heighten the effect. Okay, so now we've got something that looks like it's got some form to it, and somewhere in front of me I hopefully have some dimensionals, and I don't see them, so I may have to open up another pack. So let me grab that. Are these all littles? I need the bigger ones. Does anybody have this bundle yet? The Earthen texture bundle, and have you started to experiment with it? When I opened the new catalog, this was the first one that popped out at me, and so I was very happy to get it and start playing with it. So I'm just adding the dimensionals to the center of the pot so that I can curl that around a little bit. And oh, I forgot to do something. Let me take that off. I'm going to take one of these dimensionals off. Also in the die set you have the option to put a little handle on the pot, and I want my handles to be on the back side. I don't want that band on there, although you could put the band on there and it would look really pretty. But I want to see as much of that texture as I can. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. Uh-oh, everybody, I think I hear the lawnmower starting up again, so it may get a little bit noisy here. I'm going to have to go close the door. So, let me go do that real fast before you have to listen to that. All right, hope that's a little bit better. All right, now I can add that dimensional on the back there. And there's also, let me see if I have some of those. There's also a pattern. Where's my envelope? Get all these in one place so I can find things. You also have this kind of a crisscross design, and I'm going to go ahead and add that as well. Before I do, I'm going to just put a little bit of inking on it. Added some glue. My glue's coming out fast because it's really warm here today. Kelly says she has the Earthen texture bundle. Well, Kelly, I'm really excited to see what you do with it. Hi, Teresa. Teresa, did you ever get the watercolors that you were looking for? I did get your message, and I sent you an email. I hope you got that. I'm just blotting off some of this extra glue so that it doesn't make a mess. And I'm lining up that kind of big center diamond shape in the middle. And then I'm just going to snip these extra bits. Get that on there straight. There we go. Oops, my handles went a little bit wonky. Oh dear. And when I got up to close the door, I don't know if I'm going to be able to straighten them out. Okay, good enough. All right, so there's the effect of having a beautiful hand-built clay pot with all of these wonderful textures and designs. My pot's going to go down in this corner. I'm going to go ahead and get that situated because that's going to help me to see where I need to place everything else. I'm just going to put that about, oh, I don't know, maybe ½ an inch from the bottom and maybe an inch from the side. So that pot is going to anchor all the other things that I add to it now. So I'm going to go ahead. And again, I apologize. I hear the weed whacker and the leaf blowers. I'm sorry if you can hear those things. I do love when the lawn service comes and spruces everything up because it's a whole team of people. And they come in and it it just takes a very short time for them to go around and do everything that needs to get done that would normally take me just about an entire day. They're in and out, and as soon as they're finished, everything looks so nice and neat, and it just makes me feel like even though everything else may be sort of piling up, at least there's that one sort of organized, peaceful place outside that just lets me relax. All right, so there's an example of one of those leaves. And as I said, these stems are really long, so you may want to, depending on what you're doing, you may want to trim off a little bit from the bottom there. Now I want to make sure that I don't go past the edge of the page there, so I'm just going to grab my glue dots. And actually, you know what? I'm going to use glue because I want this to stick down really well, and I need a little bit bigger of an area here. So I'm just going to add a nice dab of glue there. Slip that to the side of the dimensionals. I'm just going to hold that in place for a minute so that that doesn't shift. I was out earlier feeding the chickens and letting them out, and we have 11 baby chicks that are all excited to be playing in the dirt and eating their special chick food. They're going to be a little freaked out by the lawnmowers, but this is their first time, so they're going to have to get used to it. The chickens are really kind of funny. They don't mind loud noises. You would think that the machinery or loud noises would cause them to be anxious or fearful, but they're such a vocal group of animals. You know, they've got their whole society, and they're extremely expressive. So if they're mad or upset or happy or whatever the occasion is, it doesn't matter. They just want to make noise and express their pleasure or their annoyance, whatever. And so I think that when they hear all the noise from the machinery and the blowers, they just think that it's part of the exuberance of life and sort of go about their way. Right, now this one I'm going to leave longer because I want this stem to come all the way out up here. I'm just doing, whoa, there goes my glue. Is just oozing from the heat. What's the temperature where everybody is? We've got 80 degrees here today, which is unseasonably warm here in the mountains at the end of May, beginning of June. And tomorrow is going to be the really, really hot day. Teresa got the paints. Oh, excellent. Well, I can't wait to see what you do with them. All right, so there it continues to develop. I do have another one of those leaves somewhere. Here it is. And let's see, can I tuck that down there? I may have to shorten the stem a little bit. Let's see, where do I want to cut it? There. So what I'm doing is just a little bit of the thought behind here is I'm getting I wanted to get the pot on first because the pot is going to determine where all of these stems are going to radiate out from. So that was a kind of a given. Oh, I guess this one's going to have to go over. There we go. And so that went on first, and now I'm adding my larger leaves because they will dominate the design. And then the frilly, sort of weedy looking leaves will just add a little more supporting texture around them. So that's sort of the basis of the design, and now the rest is really just decorating, just adding a little bit here and there. So we've got all these different colors to choose from. I wouldn't mind having the Lost Lagoon color going back into space. So I'm going to start with that one. So I'm going to start with the background things and then bring the others forward. And the way I'm doing that is with color. So we all know that the cooler colors recede into space, right? So that's why I used the Lost Lagoon as my stenciling color, and then built it up with slightly darker and slightly warmer colors to bring those forward. I'm just going to remove some of that excess glue. Stick this one in the back. And it wouldn't hurt to have another kind of back over there someplace. I'm going to go ahead and snip off the excess, pick up some of this glue. This is I'm using my silicone craft sheet, which is really great when you're applying glue to these very fine textured dies, and I will after the video today I will have a complete supply list that I will that you can just click on, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. Alright, so let me grab one of these fronds, lift this. Okay, and then I have my copper clay, but I especially want to introduce some of this wild wheat color. I just love the way these colors all come together. A lot of people are not big fans of these new earth colors. I, of course, absolutely adore them. And I'm very excited to, these are the in colors that will be around for 2 years before they're rotated out. So we've got 2 years to play with them, and I think they are going to be so useful for creating depth the way I'm using them here today. Because you need those sort of muted, subtle colors to do that. And that's what they are perfect for. Okay, now I think I want to have one coming forward. Let's see, how do I want that? I'm going to snip that. Tuck that into my pot, and that's just going to fill out that base area there. And then I can take this one that I snipped, clean that up a little bit, shorten that stem, and this can be tucked behind. Just building up all these layers, and I'm just about done. Just a couple more, and tuck that behind. Make sure my stem gets inside my pot. Get in. Okay. And then I have the copper clay one, and I think what I want to do, oh, no I don't. I want my gold. Where's my gold one? Oh, there it is. Right in front of me. Okay, I want to put this gold one right on top so you really see that shine, that sparkle and shine. So get my glue on there. Now the other thing that we have are those the dots, the in-color dots, and I'm going to be using those on this as well. I really like those a lot. They've got a beautiful kind of a luster to them that I think makes them very attractive. All right, let's see if I can get this where I want it. There we go. Now I want another one of these sort of echoing off to the side here. Echoing. So what am I talking about when I say echoing? So you want all of your elements, whether they are shapes, colors, form, whatever the thing may be, well, first of all, never say never because there's always, rules are always made to be broken, but you want everything to work together in a harmony to create an overall effect. And if you have just one kind of a stand-alone thing, it can not look like it's meant to be part of the overall effect. So when I say echo, I'm talking about having little repetitious patterns that help to support the overall effect. So that's what I mean by that. All right, so now, what about the other side here? It might be really fun to just add an echo of these things over here. So I do kind of like that, so let's do that real quick. and then we'll get on to the flip through. Whoops. Also, if for those of you who participated in the Scrapbustin journal workshop, I'm going to be announcing a Zoom party to invite all of you to come and share your design journals, and remind you that you are welcome to post your pages and your journal covers in the bookmaking Facebook group. So we want to see. I know that some of you had other things going on and you couldn't finish your project, but I don't want you to forget about that. And there will be prizes, a chance to win a prize during the Zoom. Everybody who participates, who shares their journal ideas and comes to the Zoom will have a chance to be able to win a prize during the Zoom. I'll let the picker wheel fly, and that's always a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. Right, I'm going to add one more. This is the copper clay, and so the copper clay, being a darker, redder kind of a tone, is going to come forward. So where that beautiful Lost Lagoon color goes back, this is going to come forward, and then of course the wild wheat, which is closest to what we would call a kind of a yellow ochre color, is sort of right in the middle of the palette, which is the reason why I was so glad to see it in the in colors, because it reminds me of one of my old colors that is no longer available. If you remember, Delightful Dijon, which served that same purpose of being right in the middle of the color, chroma, and spectrum. Okay, just about done here. We can add a little bit of bling. So let me do a quick cleanup here and show you what we've got so far. So there's the spread with Earthen textures. Is that it? Yep, Earthen textures. Move this stuff out of the way and see if I can find those dots. So here they are in all of those beautiful colors. I really like these a lot. So let's see. I think I'm going to get my snips. And kind of like the copper clay. So I'm gonna grab a medium, sort of put a couple of those. And then I'm going to scatter a bunch of the little tiny ones sort of here and there. Oops. Get over here. There we go. All right, well, I think that's enough for now. You know, you don't have to absolutely finish each and every thing that you do right at that moment. You can always walk away from it and think about it and then come back to it with a fresh eye. One thing I think I'd really like to do with this, though, is add a little bit of my gold ink. So I may come back and do a little spatter effect and just add a little bit of added sparkle. So there it is, my 2-page spread, and I've got plenty of area here to write, okay? And I was also careful to put my bulkier texture on the side where I have some other things, so that this side is going to lay a little bit flatter for me, so that I can use that for my writing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put those tags back in over here. So let's see if I can remember how these all go. I think this one goes this way. Which way does this one go? Goes there. One more. All right, now we're ready to begin the flip through. So I'm just going to check the comments, see if there are any questions before we begin. And, oh, hey, Deb, I haven't seen you in a long time. I saw your post earlier about the paper flowers. They look really pretty. Teresa says, very nice. Maybe the colors will grow on me. Okay, well, you know, Teresa, a lot of what I'm talking about today are kind of fine art concepts and how those concepts can translate over into our paper making. And as you learn more and more with the Watercolor Card Club and understand how the muted colors affect the bright colors, it will begin to come together for you and make more sense. So just hang in there. You're going to love them. And Kelly says, beautiful pages. You're very welcome, Kelly. Okay, so let's do a quick through. Let me get you on the page here. So this is the Scrapbustin journal that I made, and I taught you how to make the journal. So this is a hardcover journal, and it's nice and sturdy. It's going to hold up. And inside, I've got a whole series of different pages and spreads that I've designed using scraps from my stash. And that is the purpose of this journal, is to help to use up the things that you love, that you've been saving for that special occasion, and now it's time to actually get them out in a place where you can enjoy them and look at them. If you're interested in learning more about the Scrapbustin journal and the upcoming journal making workshops, and there will be several, please go to dandelioncottagedesign.com and sign up for notes from Dandelion Cottage, and I will notify you of all the upcoming workshops, classes, and events that I have. And there's also more information on there. And if you're already a member of the Scrapbustin journal workshop, stay tuned, because we're going to be having that announcement for the Zoom and our next step in our journal making process. All right, so let's do this. I did a lot of stitching throughout the book, so you can see that there is some gold thread work, a little zigzag around the edges. I've got translucent vellum, different flowers that were made with the punch, and also some gold heat embossing. And then I went into my butterfly box and I pulled out these butterflies that I had ready to go. Some of them are painted, some of them are sparkly. Okay, and lots of that wonderful distressed gold. And then this was the gold tone vellum that I used to cut out the honeycomb, which I think is so effective for that. On the front cover, I've got a little corner pocket, and in here I've got a tuck that has the beautiful queen bee on there. She's got a little bend in her vellum wing. We can fix that real quick. All right, so she's tucked down inside there, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the dies and things that I use, because there is an entire playlist of videos that you can watch to see many of these things, and that is on my YouTube channel. I'll include that in the description below as well, link to the playlist so you can find those things. And then I just added this little card that I had kicking around my studio. I haven't glued it down because I'm not sure if I want to use it as a it could be a flap, it could be a tag, it could be a tuck, it could be a journal, you know. So I'm not quite ready to nail down everything just yet. And another thing I want to mention is that there's quite a few empty pages in here that I can add to over time. And one of the things I'm looking forward to doing is seeing all of your journals so that I can take some of your ideas and use them in my journal. So that's why these workshops and these groups are so important, because we all feed off of each other's ideas, and it's just so much fun. And we find great friends in the groups as well. So here's one of my peacock feathers. I just did a little bit of stenciling back there. That color is Pretty Peacock. This is a color that has come back, so you can now get this ink and cardstock and all the other things, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm so happy to have that back again. This is some of my watercolor DSP. I can still add things to this little card that just tucks into that pocket, and then I've got a flap over here. And this is a great place to add some photographs or a quote or whatever. And again, here's an example of a stamp I heat embossed and then painted with ink and just had in my studio. I wasn't using it for anything in particular, and it just makes a perfect flat flap here. Just a simple design, lots of room to write. Got a center spread here. Now I did leave the tails of my signature stitches long, and I did that so that I could decorate them. I haven't put any charms or beads or anything like that on the journal yet, but I have that opportunity to be able to do that in the future if I choose to. Here's some stenciling. Okay, same kind of idea as what I did earlier today. Here's that ladybug pull. So here's my ladybug. You just pull on this little flap and she comes to life. All right. And another example of having the main design on one side and then just having a little bit of continuation on the other side of the spread to hold it together. I added all of this texture and and the embellishments and the ladybug to this page where I have a lot going on the other side as well. And that sort of helps to keep all of this activity and thickness in one place, so that I'm not always fighting with myself when I'm trying to add another design or do a little journaling or whatever the case may be. I'm trying to get this so that you can get a little bit better look. There we go. All right, so here is my Dandelion page with the statement of the heart to love what we do and share what we love as we help others enjoy creativity and worthwhile accomplishments. In this we make a difference. And I really do take this statement of the heart to heart. That is exactly what I hope to do in helping to inspire you all to join me and make things like this. And the dandelion with the seeds blowing in the wind here are my symbol of inspiration. So my hope is that I inspire you to do something, and you do something that inspires somebody else, and all of these ideas just go off and land wherever they will. This is a little paper clip, a little covered paper clip. So it's one of those larger paper clips, and I just sandwiched the two sides of it between, I think you can see it a little bit there, between some scraps of watercolor paper, and just added a little bit of a decoration to it. So this little paper clip can move around wherever I need it in the book. So right now it's got a couple of blank pages here. This is the, did I miss a page? No. So this is the center spread of the center signature of the book. And so this flips out like so. And I have all of these tucks and pockets here. There's stenciling, a little bit of embellishment. It says follow your star here. And then I've got some stitched journal cards tucked into the flap. So this is a nice place if you had a what do I have here? Let me see. Well, I don't have anything handy, but let's say you had a favorite card. You could just tuck it into the side and have it in your book. Maybe you've got some photographs. Maybe you have a little note or some quotes. This is a painting I did with inks, and I'm pretty sure there's a video of this. And so what I did was, I did this painting of the narcissus when they first started blooming in the garden, and I did a kind of a slimline shaped card and saw that it was the exact right side to sort of clip over the side of my page here. And then I've got this little tag and a paper clip, and I can just hold that into place like so. And these are the tag dies from the TaylorMade tags that I love. Here's the butterfly spread. So on this side, if we open up this bow, this opens up to reveal a little pocket. It says, great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. And perseverance is one of my most favorite words. And then behind there, I've just got another little card with some stamping of butterflies and the fern. And then on this side, we open, And here's our pop-up box, okay, with all the butterflies inside. So these are some of the beautiful watercolor, stamped, watercolored, and die-cut butterflies from the Butterfly Brilliance set, which is a retired set. But these were done on the thicker Fluid 100 watercolor paper, so they've got a lot of nice stiffness to them. And then they were all painted with the Wing of Stella, which I'm not sure if you can see, but they've got a beautiful sort of iridescent sparkle to them. So I've just got a nice collection of butterflies, all different sizes inside there. Okay, so that closes up like that. You can just tie that shut. There's my little mermaid corner bookmark. And there she is. And she is stamped and fussy cutted out, and she's got gold metallic ink on her, and then the whole thing is covered with, I always forget the name of this, shimmery crystal effects. So this is the this is what you squeeze and spread on the top and then put it aside to dry overnight so that you get this nice kind of enameled effect. And that just slips over the top of the page like so. More room for writing and new designs. This was some old DSP that I had in my stash because I love this paper, and it's no longer available, but this is a great way that you can use your DSP and see all the different patterns and how they all coordinate so beautifully with one another. So over on this side in this little pocket, I just have some scraps. I could add more to that. I was thinking I wanted to add a little bird down here, so I may do that. And then on this side is my sort of patchwork tag collection, which is another great way, by creating this sort of patchwork background, to use both sides of your DSP so that you can see all how these things all go so beautifully together. And if you chose to, you could write a little message or a favorite word or a quote, somebody's name, whatever it is that that you're inspired by. Here's today's page. Those beautiful colors, looking very pretty. A couple of blank pages, and then finally the back, this kind of a vellum oversized library card pocket with this tag, and you can see that beautiful gold ink and a place to put a little message and the little bit of stitching with the metallic thread around the edge. So that is my scrapbusting journal. I hope you enjoyed that. I can't wait to see what you all have been busy doing. I'm really excited. So as I mentioned, stay tuned for the announcement for the Scrapbusting Journal Workshop Zoom, where we'll have a chance to get to see what everybody else is doing, a little show and tell, ask everybody any questions you may have, share what you've done, and just have a nice little online party. So that's it for today. I'm going to check the comments one more time real quick, see if there's anything here that I've missed. And, oh, there's so many comments. Holy cow. Okay, we've got a lot of people here. Thank you, Deb. Thanks. I love to have you join us in one of these journal projects. I think you'd really like it. Carol says, absolutely beautiful. Love the color combinations. Well, I do love color. And Kelly says, beautiful. Okay, everybody, I'll let you go back to your whatever you're working on today. I will be back on Wednesday for Watercolor Wednesday, and followed by Paper Crafting Thursday, both at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also going to be getting in touch with all the people in the Watercolor Card Club. We've got a new Zoom that has been rescheduled, so we got to get that all sorted out, and lots of stuff. So if you're not signed up for notes from Dandelion Cottage, you want to make sure that you get on the list so that you can be notified of all these things. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.